I'm very pleased to welcome you for this Zoom panel, which is on balancing business with purpose. It is the first panel discussion that we are doing for the Global Entrepreneurship Summit that is being held in Hyderabad later this month. And this is an event that is co-hosted by Safecity and SheThePeople and is supported by the US Consulate Mumbai. So very welcome to everyone. We have people from around the world and we have some wonderful entrepreneurs from around the world, from India, but from Azerbaijan, the US. We have someone from Egypt, Indonesia, and other countries. So some housekeeping rules. This is being recorded and will be circulated to you as well as on social media. So don't forget to retweet or repost it to your followers. The hashtag is Road to GES. We request everyone to put themselves on mute at the moment. And when a speaker is on, she can put on her video and audio so as to conserve bandwidth. And at the end, there will be time to take in a few questions. So those listening can type in their questions in the chat box. Yeah, so let's get started. I'm Elsa De Silva. As I said, I'm a social entrepreneur myself. I was in the aviation industry for close to 20 years. And then I made a career switch after a horrific gang rape of a young woman, Jyoti Singh, on a bus in Delhi. And I started Safecity with a couple of friends. It's an online crowd map for sexual violence in public spaces. And the idea is to make these patterns and trends that the stories indicate available in the public domain so that people can use it either for their individual safety by improving their situational awareness or, getting their communities to do something about it and holding their institutional service providers accountable and doing a better job. I was at GES last year and I benefited immensely, and that's why I'm so excited to do this online panel. I'm now going to ask Tara. Tara's our co-host from SheThePeople. She will explain what they do, and then we will ask the entrepreneurs to introduce themselves and their business.
Yeah, so hi everybody. I'll just tell everybody a little bit about SheThePeople TV. So SheThePeople TV is founded by award-winning journalist Shelley Chopra, and it's India's largest storytelling platform for women. So what we aim to do is we aim to empower, engage, and elevate women through the power of stories. So we cover a wide range of stories ranging from human interest to interviewing rising entrepreneurs, professionals, and we also put on a series of events. So the idea is to create role models for women at work, to encourage women to join the workforce and to break boundaries. We host a number of events all over India. Some events that we have hosted are a digital marketing conference in partnership with Google. We host a variety of women writers fests, which happen all over India. And our marquee event, the Digital Women Awards, is actually happening this Sunday. And so what we do is we honor entrepreneurs who've done something interesting in the digital space, as well as hear from professionals in the space. So that's a bit about what we do. So I can hand it over to Kirti to introduce herself.
Thank you, Elsa and Tara, for having me here. My name is Kirti and I'm from Chennai. I founded and run the Red Elephant Foundation, which is 6 months younger than Safecity, having been founded in June 2013, again in response to much of what was happening in India at the time, following the brutal gang rape in Delhi. One of the things that we came across was that the idea of telling your stories can actually change mindsets significantly and go forth to create conversations where difficult conversations haven't taken place. So our work is centered heavily around civilian peace building and gender equality through training, digital advocacy, and tech for good. Over the past 4 years, we've done a lot of work together with Safecity as well as recently with SheThePeople through writing and social media. And we're really, really excited to be able to share on today's panel. Thank you for having me.
Zara, would you like to talk about your work in Azerbaijan?
Sure. Hi, can you hear me? Okay, awesome. Happy to be here. So, what we are doing right now is my journey started when I was 18, and I desperately wanted to be financially independent because that's one of the problems that we have over here is a lot of women have to be stuck in unhappy violent marriages because they don't have financial independence. So seeing growing up and seeing this, I decided that I want to start my own business, and I did that with just $200, and we got it to six figures in, and it's still working. We have boutiques in the city center, and I have 15 employees working, all main family, like breadwinners in their families. And 3 years ago we started Wow Woman, which is a woman empowerment platform which focuses on first giving girls kind of the confidence in doing what they really want to and not what the society tells them they're supposed to be doing, and then we try to give them not only soft skills but also hard skills, such as programming skills, design skills. We teach entrepreneurship and so on. And until now, in 2 years and a half, basically without any funding, we got to over 6,750 women pass through our programs and events. And yeah, we hope to enlarge our impact, and we already opened in Pakistan and Kyrgyzstan as well, so hoping to connect with ladies here as well and to broaden our reach. Yeah, thank you, happy to be here.
Great. Thank you for joining in from Azerbaijan. And now we have Vanya from Indonesia. Why don't you tell us about your business?
Yeah, hello, hi everyone. So I'm Vania from Indonesia, and here I run SheThePeople. So it's a social enterprise wherein we promote exotic yet ethical fashion. Well, I usually start introducing my social enterprise by asking this one question, like, what do you think this bag is made of? So this is like the common question that I ask people because they usually give an answer like, hey, this is made out of leather, or maybe like, what kind of exotic skin is it made of? But the truth is, it's actually made out of unused sack of cement. So it's really about how we can make the innovations on upcycling, because the fact is, here in Indonesia, there are actually so many environmental activists that is already working on waste management program, trying to upcycle products. But the thing is, it's very hard to get people to buy it because Indonesian people tend to buy like, the imported cheap products, or maybe like the imitation products, something like that. And they thought like, recycled products is not that fancy. So that's why we here in SheThePeople is really trying to introduce the fashionable way of having sustainable fashion into an ethical way, and through that, through these kind of products, we really hope that people will be more attracted to the green lifestyle issues. And the
Vanya?
interesting part here is we actually started this as a social project back in 2005, and finally we are now shifting into social enterprise because we found out that if we really want to have our social mission alive, we really need to find a way to get it financially sustainable as well. So that's how SheThePeople finally established.
Vanya, thank you for that. Can you repeat what material did you say you make your bags out of?
Yes, sure. So this is the sample of the products that we made, showcasing the materials itself. It's from the cement sack. Actually, we upcycle many waste that came into our waste making system, but this one is like the one that we promote a lot because this is the innovation that we are able to convey that, hey, this is very interesting. This is like let it look like, and people will start to get attracted to it.
Great. Thank you so much for that, Vanya. That's very innovative. So, next, why don't we invite Rim from Egypt to tell us about her business, which is very different?
My name is Reem Siam. I am the president of Business Women Committee in the Federation of Egyptian Chamber of Commerce, and I am the CEO of Web International Middle East, which is an international business and professional company that offers a wide spectrum of business and consulting services. Through web, I created an online platform that offers for women or that the platform connect women entrepreneur with the vision to pull all women skills under one roof and in one place and to form an economic force for change. Web mega store, the platform I created um, uh, of women empowerment principles and the United Nations Global Compact to do more women products through my website. That's why I was selected by to be one of 15 uh, entrepreneurs who succeeded to to empower themselves, and also I was selected to be one of the GS.
Great, Rim. Okay, so now I think the last entrepreneur is Mariama. She's logging in from the US.
Excellent. Thank you for having me, and pardon any background noise. I just stepped inside a cafe. So my name is Mariama Kabia, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Memunatu magazine. So essentially what we do is we create a unique community-driven publication specifically for teenage girls 10 to 17 years old in Africa and the African diaspora. So I first started Memunatu because I saw a problem in my extended community. My parents are originally from Sierra Leone. I was born and raised in the United States. So I grew up always seeing the community in West Africa as my own extended community. When I got to college, my twin sister and I wanted to do something specifically that would target teenage girls in our parents' home country of Sierra Leone. And so when we started, we really knew we had to listen to the problems that were in their communities, but also figure out innovative solutions that we as diasporans could have. And so one thing led to another, and this innovation became Memunatu. We saw media to be a platform for building community, fostering a culture of reading, and improving women's outcomes. What we've learned over the years, growing and developing Memunatu, is that a lot of these challenges that we originally saw in Sierra Leone are actually present across the region and across the world. So what we've done accordingly is adjust Memunatu so that it's not only a publication, but it's something that can extend into girls' lives. We do live events where basically themes from the magazine come to life. We work with schools, so each publication comes with a teacher's guide, so teachers can run a 30-minute lesson in their classroom. We've also been very conscious of how our content can influence girls' lives. So as such, in each quarterly magazine, we make sure that we cover three important topics. One, we have interviews of girls in their community doing amazing things, as well as positive female role models. Number two, we make sure that all of our content links to current events that are happening in the world. For example, presidential elections where women in power and civic engagement are huge topics. We want to make sure that our issues cover those important topics. And then thirdly, we want to make sure that girls are able to actually implement what they read in the magazine into their lives. As such, we focus on activities with each issue that extend learning. So it's been such a privilege to grow Memunatu, take it from an idea to an actual living social enterprise. We're now a 501c3 organization in the United States. And from a personal note, my sister and I named Memunatu after our mom, who was an inspiration to us. But essentially, when girls read the publication and engage in our platform, we want them to see themselves in the pages and their possibilities. So it's been such a pleasure, and I'm glad to join this panel today.
Thank you, Mariama, and really appreciate you logging in from the cafe. I know it's not easy when things go wrong, but that's what entrepreneurship is all about,
Exactly.
taking the surprises with everything else in stride, and you're a true entrepreneur. So, as you can see, we have a great lineup from around the world, and they are doing diverse things. So, please do use the chat section for the questions. I'm going to hand it over to Tara now.
Thanks, Elsa. Everybody for the amazing introductions. So I'd like to start off with the first question is, which will be common to all of you, is what is the social angle to your business and why is that important to you? So we can go in the same order. So maybe Kirti, do you want to start?
Thank you so much, Tara. So I think much of what I do as my business is built entirely on the social angle, which is towards creating a gender equal and a non-violent society. So pivoting around this, we have a stream of activities, whether it's digital advocacy or the workshops that we do or the apps that we create. In terms of a business dimension to it, we only monetize trainings to avenues that are actually capable of affording our training. So we make it free and accessible to those that are not able to afford it but can receive the information and need it. For instance, we work with underprivileged communities across areas in Chennai to teach children things about safety and rules of safe and unsafe touch and how they can actually navigate their everyday lives and avoid violent situations. But when we go to private schools or we go to colleges, we make sure to price our workshops so that we can actually create a critical mass of people who are able to pay forward beyond themselves. So I suppose it would be fair to say that much of what we do is entirely pivoting around the central social angle.
Thanks, Kirti. Yeah, I really like what you said about pricing it according to who can afford it. It was interesting. Vanya, do you want to talk about your business?
Did you say Vanya or Zara?
Oh, Vanya.
Okay, yeah.
Vanya?
Just make sure you've unmuted yourself.
Hello. Hi. Hi.
Hi, Vanya.
Okay. So talking about in case we have for the sustainable development goals, which is goal SDG 8 and SDG 13. The SDG 8 focuses really on the decent work and also the economic growth itself. Because here in Haystack, we empower underprivileged communities and also local communities to work with us. And the interesting part is they are not only doing the like production process behind the scene. Like we do not only teach them the skills to do handcrafting or to do the home waste management, but also at the same time that we also empower them with the communication skills so that the people that we empower also will be able to be the public speaker, the trainer for our workshop as well. So it really is about how we can create more leaders through our workshop as well. And it also gives the sense of belonging and also like self-actualization as well at the same time, because for shy people to be able to speak up and teach the others on how they can create something made out of waste, it's something like really rewarding for them. And the second part for our social mission is for SDG 13, which is climate action, because we are really trying to educate people the importance of having green lifestyle. And our approach is a little bit unique, I might say, because we are trying to introduce it through fashion, which is actually in our daily lifestyle as well. And the reason why we are doing this is really to be able to tap those who are not environmental conscious yet, but they will be able to get exposed to the environmental issues through this kind of stuff first. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And since we are also doing this upcycling process, we managed to get a partnership with the waste banking system to really reduce waste itself and also to promote environmental issues in a fun way.
Okay, great. Thank you. Zara, do you want to go next?
Sure. So I guess just as Vanya and Kirhi mentioned, ours is also basically a social project. It started as a social project and we started converting it more into social enterprise for the same reasons as Vanya mentioned as well, for it to actually be alive for years to come, hopefully, it needs financial sustainability. So the way we are adding it, so I guess it's the other way around, not where is a social angle, but where is actually the business angle of things that we are doing, right? And I've seen girls nodding, all of us basically nodding at the moments where okay, sorry, where we were talking about financial sustainability, because that's what happens often, and that's what is discussed on many conferences, is that all the social enterprises are still in search of what actually social enterprise means, right? We get so much distraction of should a social project make money or not, and so on. So what we have managed to do is we are releasing different merchandises, such as, for example, this planner. It's in different colors. This is just mine. It's a daily planner for daily, monthly, and goal setting, habit tracking, and getting into the right state of mind, into positive state of mind in order to get to your goals and dreams. So we try to keep the education part and all the trainings, programs on, as I mentioned before, IT, entrepreneurship, soft skills, and so on, as free as possible. So to give it to people to provide it to those who can't really afford it, and to keep this whole thing sustainable financially by adding on these different types of merchandise, such as this one, and then accessories and so on. In our reality, we can't really get any grants or things like this, which pushed us in a good way. There is a plus in everything, right? And which pushed us to not rely on grants, as many organizations do, I think, but actually to manage to be to stand tall on our own feet. So I was investing from my own business, which I mentioned I started at 18, and it's been working for 7 years already. It's boutiques of evening and wedding dresses, actually. Often people ask why dresses. It's because I was doing ballroom dancing for 10 years professionally, and that's how the whole dresses idea came to life. And I was taking from there, investing into Wow Woman, and now companies come by themselves and tell us like, hey, how can we support you, right? But we try to keep it to go more into the business direction rather than just organization, because I believe that's the more sustainable way, and we hope to be able to be an example in this part of the world as well for those who want to do business with impact and to really keep the earth and humanity in mind while doing things. Yeah. Thank you, and sorry for the noise.
No problem. Thanks a lot. Rim, do you want to go next?
Can you tell us what's the social angle to this and why it's important to you?
Social media is very important for all of us, for all entrepreneurs, and the best tool to build a brand name and to grow our business. And to boost also web traffic and to connect with consumers and business leaders. So it's very important to be on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. this is very important to be there to promote our business and to grow also our business.
Great. But do you have a social purpose to your business?
Sorry, I didn't hear what. Sorry.
Is there a social purpose to your
I
business?
didn't hear you.
A social purpose, that is, does your business benefit society in some way, and why is that important to you?
Like Facebook, you are talking like Facebook, like LinkedIn, or what? I didn't understand your question.
Tara, maybe you might want to explain.
Yeah. So, Rim, we're trying to ask is if your business, how does your business impact society for the good?
Okay.
And how you've gone about creating that?
Okay. Through my business, because I'm involved in many business, but we are talking about Web Middle East, Web put into action the principle number 5 of United Nations Global Compact and Women Empowerment Principles to market the women products. So we are marketing women products and to show their products and I want to tell you what and scaling their business. You know, we are trying to let them seen as a giant. So all around the world, all the people know how women are empowered.
Okay, great. Thank you. And Mariama, would you like to go? I think is Mariama online?
Mariama, are you online, or you'll just have to check if you're unmuted?
Oh, okay. Now I've been unmuted.
Yeah.
Hello?
Oh, great. Yeah, great.
Okay, great. Sorry about that. I was just saying that at Memunatu magazine, social impact is at our core. So we take a problem-driven approach to empowering girls through media. So for teenage girls, particularly in Africa, we saw that what was it? One additional year of schooling results in a 20% increased lifetime income. That's from, I believe, the World Bank. But even on a personal note, we saw that between the ages of 10 to 17, that's when girls are dropping out the most. They have lower literacy rates than their male counterparts, and a whole host of systemic issues. So basically, when we produce our publication, we're directly targeting those outcomes that we want to improve. So, for example, with each publication, we ask the girls questions before and afterwards that sort of get at our theory of change, so that providing girls with information that they can actually apply to their lives and giving them an opportunity to do so is building confidence, is boosting key skills in reading and writing, and is in the long term just providing girls with opportunities that they don't currently have. So around that social impact, that's where we build the business model. So we do subscription sales to schools and school systems in bulk. We partner with organizations and corporations as sponsors. So we're linking like-minded organizations with the themes and topics that we're doing. And then we work closely with schools and other partners so that girls have an opportunity to actually implement the impact and the lessons that they're reading about. So as you all know, as an entrepreneur, things are very much work in progress. So we've had some really great initial impacts with our pilot schools in Sierra Leone. We've gotten to see it grow in places like Liberia, Zambia, even here in the United States in the DC area. So for us, social impact is pervasive through the entire model, and it's basically the reason we get up every morning to do this work.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Tara.
Oh, just handing over to you for the next question.
Okay, so that's a great segue, and let's start with Mariama for the next question. The theme for this year's GES is Women First, Prosperity for All. So, why do you think that the world needs more women entrepreneurs?
So that's a great question, and what a great way of linking to GES 2017. So if you think about it, women are half the population, and so I think entrepreneurs are uniquely positioned to see unique problems and then to actually tackle those problems. And so I'm even thinking back to our work at Memunatu, but also the work of everyone on the panel and other entrepreneurs who are doing great work every day. We're identifying problems that we see through our lenses and then building either products, organizations, you name it, to solve those problems. So if there are no women at the table, who's to say that problems affecting women will be tackled or that they'd be tackled in this particular way? So what I think is all entrepreneurs come with their own unique lenses and approaches to solving problems and identifying problems. So without women, we run the risk of not having solutions to a whole host of challenges that perhaps wouldn't have been tackled. So I'm really excited about this year's theme, and I think women have such potential. Even when looking at the girls we reach through Memunatu, they have such amazing ideas for how they want to contribute to the world, whether it's through public service, entrepreneurship, or some other way. And so ignoring those voices, I think, deprives all of us of such unique opportunities that can advance the entire world.
I think you're absolutely right. And, it makes such a big difference because the lived realities of women and girls is so very different. And if we don't have women working on the issues that matter, many more women and girls will be left behind. So, yes, the theme is absolutely important. And maybe Rim can share how, through the Business Council in Egypt, she is trying to encourage more women entrepreneurs. But why is it important in Egypt too that there are more women entrepreneurs? Rim?
Did you hear me? Esa?
Yes. Yes,
Hello?
go.
Huh? Yes, okay. First, women make the best entrepreneurs. And I think that women in business have the power within her and around her. In Egypt, in our community, the participation of women in the economy is weakest. But half of our population is women too. So we are trying to give them more training to empower them in new places. Like I do one of the big training. It was teaching women carpentry skills. So we open for women in new market like carpentry skills. Carpentry skills is always for men, not for women. So we are trying to think about out of the box to open for them new market, and also women. Women are very important for economic growth. They create job for themselves and others, and they provide society with different solutions to business problems. So women entrepreneurs is very important to foster our economy. And in Egypt, we are trying to realize the SDGs number 5 to empower women and to bring them by 50-50 by 2030.
That's great. And I think if we have to make the world a more equal place, we have to create those opportunities. I recently wrote an article for SheThePeople where I actually said that entrepreneurship is an ideal job for women because of the flexibility, and we anyway think out of the box. We are very creative. Most of us are very empathetic, so it just helps. I will post the link to the article and you may want to read it. But that coming back to Zara, you have a very interesting business where you were able to convert your passion and you identified a need and you run a very successful business, and through it you're impacting socially many other women. So why do you think it's important for women entrepreneurs, especially you come from a very conservative society, don't you?
Yeah. Uh, well, I think I completely agree with you. That's what we are also trying to do with Wow Woman is you get independence and it's basically all in your hands. What happens often is that even when women go to work like somewhere in a corporate world, they can't really choose much who they work with and what attitudes they get from their managers and so on. So being kind of your own boss in a way adds on this freedom for them, and then taking on responsibility, as you said, like we have this empathy thing. So when woman gets on her feet, she also starts helping others. I think that's statistically even much more than men, right? And I was on an event recently in Kiev where there were top CEO professionals, women from like very stereotypically masculine industries, like oil and gas and financial industry and so on, and they were like managing this like hundreds of employees, and they were all saying that what happens often is that women try to become like men, while that's not like in leadership, while that's not necessary at all, because we bring on our own energy and our own how to say leadership styles, right? And that brings diversity, and there are so many researches, so many confirmations of that the most effective, the most successful teams have as many are as diverse as possible, right? So more women we bring to, the more economies grow. And I think I can see it from my own example. I see how like impacting, creating, like I'm taking care fully of my family from 19, and all my employees are doing the same thing, while they're all like, I'm the oldest one out of all of them, I'm 25, right? And they manage to get on their feet, and once someone helps you, like for example we have this in general in the company and in the organization, we have this thing with paying it forward, right? Again, as you mentioned, so when they got it from someone, they want to pay it forward as well, and that's how this massive impact can be created. So I truly believe in it, and I try to work on it as much as possible, even so it's challenging from time to time. And I think that's one of the things that if we have time we could tap into, because there's all these great things that we're all here creating and making impact on, but there's so many challenges that we have to face on the way, and whoever is in the beginning of their road should know that it's okay, and there will be challenges because the only way you can avoid them is not doing anything. Right? So
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think the first step towards achieving anything is, breaking that comfort zone, getting out of it and doing something. Just do it. And you won't know whether it's going to work or not till you actually do it. So thank you all for doing all the wonderful work you're doing. And now I'd like to hear from Vanya from Indonesia on how, why is it important for women in your country or around the world to actually take up entrepreneurship? How can they benefit from it, or how can they contribute towards it?
Well, I personally think that there is really a quote mentioning that teaching a man teach a man, but teaching a woman means we teach a generation. So I think it also applies for the woman entrepreneurship itself. When we have a woman leader or woman entrepreneur being a figure, it will help other people to also see that there is also something bigger than the woman itself, because I believe that we all as the woman also really having this kind of empathy, and then like like bigger than just logical things, something like that, that will be able to serve more people and give more benefits with more beneficiaries as well. And I personally think that gender empowerment is also really to be equal. So when we talk about the woman entrepreneur itself, it's really interesting because it's no longer stereotyping women to be only at home, but also to be able to express themselves, to be able to, hey, this is me, I'm able to create something, and it's really important for us as the woman itself to really express ourselves.
Great. And Kirti, would you like to weigh in on this?
Thank you, Elsa. So a lot of it has been said, so I'm not going to repeat that. But I think it's important to have more women entrepreneurs because while we're talking about the themes of gender equality and when we're talking to young women and telling them that they can be anything they want, it's equally important that they should be able to see and discern role models around them. Many of us have grown up not knowing the contributions of women in our histories, in our societies, in our cultures. For instance, did most of us know that the person who invented the dishwasher was a woman? The world knows about DNA because of a woman. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so many more that have contributed, and these stories haven't been told or even heard enough. So I think it's high time women are not just given their space, but also being seen, being able to articulate and to actually share what they're doing while they're at it.
Yeah, I think it's very important. Tara, over to you for the next question.
Thanks, everyone. People really liked what you said about having role models. That's exactly what we try to do at STP, is to get stories of women out there. And I think we're all very excited about next year's theme. So the next question is, what did you learn from GES last year, and any one tip that you would have for the entrepreneurs that will be attending this year's GES? And maybe Zara, you want to start?
All right. So I think the main thing is that for me, this whole JS conference was mind blowing in a way. There were so many things happening at the same time. So whoever is going to listen to it and go just in a week, you should expect having dozens of amazing things happening at the same time and having this feeling of like, how do I duplicate myself and put in the few places at the same time, because different zones, different speakers, and you want to learn from all of them. So I would advise to basically really look through agenda in advance and decide where do you want to go, as well as let from one side, but from another side, to let things just happen, because there are so many things which can appear right there which you don't expect. People that you thought that you have to meet, you need to find them. At the end, you can't really find them, for example, but you meet completely different people that you didn't expect, but they get to be exactly the right people that you were meant to meet in a way. And then you build on connections and you start helping each other, just either making partnerships or doing business, or just basically even knowing that there are some more people like yourself around the world struggling with similar problems, similar challenges, gives you power to move forward. Yeah, so I think the main value is always the network. So I would say to really know what you want, know how to present yourself, and don't be shy to do that and approach people, because everyone is super nice. Everyone has this little worry inside, you know, of being shy. So no matter how they look or who they are, be brave and approach them, because the most interesting conversations and the deepest connections can happen with the people that you don't expect could happen with. Yeah. Thank you.
Sounds very exciting. Rim, do you want to talk about your experience?
Sure. For me, did you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. For me, GS 2016 was unforgettable experience. It gives me a unique opportunity to create connection and network that support my business. I was honored to be selected among the 100 GS plus, and I think all of us was GS plus for 2016, and we were selected for our vision and business, which was scaling, and it was great to meet and saw and listen to noted leaders like President Obama and the CEO of LinkedIn, of Airbnb, of Google. Uh, so it was a great opportunity, and also I was honored to be one of the 16 entrepreneurs who had the opportunity to meet the Secretary of State, John Kerry.
It's fantastic. Mariama, you want to tell us what you are looking forward to for this year and your experience of last year?
Sure. Let's see if my video works. Oh, maybe not. Anyway, so GES 2016 was such an amazing experience. I would echo, I think it was Zara's point about networking, but I'd expand it just to say, get to know everyone. So some of my closest friends that I have now from the conference are people I met while getting breakfast or while standing in line to go hear President Obama speak. All of these opportunities are great ways to meet people. Of course, I think you should go to the panels and the sessions, particularly the ones that you think can advance your business, but don't underestimate the other entrepreneurs near you. The great thing about GES, additionally, is that you have representatives from businesses and organizations from around the world as attendees. So it's a great way to casually speak to someone, and if they themselves can't help you and your enterprise, perhaps they know someone else who could. And so I think they might have another networking system this year, but I really liked Pokin, or whatever we used last year, where you had to tap the little hands and you would transfer information. It was like a digital business card. So my main piece of advice beyond getting to know the fellow attendees is to follow up with everyone. Even if it's a quick hi, it was great meeting you. You never know what it will turn into.
Thanks. Yeah, that's great advice to actually follow up with the people you may meet and take that forward. Vanya, would you like to talk about your experience last year and your advice for entrepreneurs this year?
Well, I think that's pretty much already being mentioned by the other panelists. It really is about enjoying the GS itself, and then really about the networking and how we will be able to maintain the partnership. Because in my case as well, I'm very fortunate as well to like getting in touch with the entrepreneurs organization that was also part of the exhibitor there, and also part of the mentorship in the GS Plus for the 150 youth and women entrepreneurs. And at that time, I really learned a lot, and also being able to collaborate with one of the El Salvador brand designer, which is also it's something that is interesting for me for my business as well, to level up into an international partnership. And I think it's not only like for international conference like GS, even for like in small event that we attend, we really need to keep in mind that partnership is not just like in a like in a second that we can build, but it really is about maintaining relationship. And it's not that, for example, maybe we meet with another entrepreneur at one time and then we think that, oh, we are not a good friend to we are not a good partner business, but then at some point later on we get to know each other again, and oh, we found something interesting to be partner business. So it really is we'll never know where the door will open. So for example, I'd also like to mention that, for example, this traditional clothes that I wear today, it's actually made by my friend that I know from another conference as well. He's Stefan Eji from Yogyakarta. He's also an Indonesian entrepreneur. And at that time when we met each other, it's like just a simple greeting, hey, blah, blah, blah. But then turn out we can make a collaboration, like he's going to hold an exhibition and we are going to collaborate between this cloth design and also with my own bag as well. So it really is something that always getting excited to see what kind of collaboration that we can make further after this event, because attending an event or a conference is not just a one-time activity, but really is about maintaining partnership. Like now we are able to be in these panels as well because Elsa as well. So yeah, thank you for this opportunity.
That's great. And I, as a participant, I met this person at one of the meetings at GES, and I was just talking about Safecity. And at the time, we didn't have a mobile app, and he wanted to see what the crowd map looks like. And I said it didn't render well on the phone, and it was taking time to pull up. And he said, how much money do you need? And I said, I quoted a figure, and he gave it to me. He said, I'm giving it to you. Go get your mobile app. We need it for the safety of women. So that's how, you don't know who you're going to meet at GES. You just have to treat people with respect, make friends, enjoy the experience, learn from each other, keep an open mind, and you will be surprised. I mean, for me, I got money and funding without even expecting it.
Wow. Kirti, I know that you didn't attend the GS this year, but if you could tell us what you're looking forward to at GS this year.
Sure. So I was very selfishly making note of all the things that the women had to say after attending last year. So I'm going to put good use to that, I hope. So this year I'm really looking forward to engaging with also the US Consulate General at Chennai, and they have some amazing events on the 28th of November in the city. So they're looking at training entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs in the city, offering them the benefit of mentorship and support from experts in the field. So I'm really looking forward to that. And of course, networking with all the amazing people I'm going to interact with, and hopefully I get half as lucky as Elsa did.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for sharing all your experiences. I think everybody is doing such a fantastic job, and I think using technology is so important because you can connect with each other. We don't have to be in the same place. So some of us are going to GS and some are not, but it doesn't matter, because we are all part of this, ecosystem, if you will, where we are supporting each other, we are creating opportunities, and I would encourage everyone to keep the relationships going. The people I know wanted to cover each of you and your stories, so please don't hesitate to reach out to them. Tara, you've met on this panel, but I think we can keep in touch with each other, and you can contact Renita for our tweet chats. This evening, we are having a tweet chat in a few hours where we will be talking about another aspect of entrepreneurship with an entrepreneur from Argentina. So that's new. And let's keep the dialogue and discussion going. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Elsa.
Thank you, Elsa.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.